Welcome to Vintage Cricket. So ICC Champions Trophy is nearing and we see the interesting updates coming up from different teams, and the tournament is happening in Pakistan and UAE. It's quite exciting tournament. It's coming after a very long period of time. The last ICC Champions Trophy which we have seen was in 2017, and after that it's coming back this time. And it's quite exciting thing. All the teams are quite stronger this time. And the best part is Team India is also roaring up with the champions, and we have quite a strong team, especially in the batting order. But unfortunately, Jasprit Bumrah is struggling with a lot of injuries. Otherwise, the things are quite good for Indian team perspective. But if you look at the history of ICC Champions Trophy, the first ever ICC Champions Trophy happened in 1998. It happened in Dhaka. So right now in Dhaka, which is in Bangladesh, capital of Bangladesh. It's quite exciting to be here. And the first ever ICC Champions Trophy happened in Bangabandhu Stadium in Dhaka. A couple of days back, name of the Bangabandhu Stadium has changed to Dhaka International Stadium. It's a new name as well as a new purpose for the stadium as well, because during the 1998 Champions Trophy, it was a cricket stadium, and now it's a multi-purpose stadium where different sports do happen over there, such as like track and field, football, rugby as well. So there's a massive change in whole of the system as far as in Bangladesh cricket, and right now the home of Bangladesh cricket ground has been shifted to Shere Bangla in Mirpur, which is in Dhaka as well. So earlier there were a lot of phenomenal matches happen in Bangabandhu Stadium, and we are talking today about ICC Champions Trophy 1998. So in 1998 ICC Champions Trophy, there are totally 9 teams which played. So out of 9 teams, the format was like this. There was 1 pre-quarterfinals and 4 quarterfinals, 2 semi-finals and 1 finals. So the format was completely different from what we see for the last few Champions Trophy editions. This was something out of the box, to be very honest, because I watched it live on the TV. The teams were all with the fabulous players, legendary players as well. And the first match was between New Zealand and Zimbabwe, which was pre-quarterfinals match. And talking about that match, the opening ceremony was phenomenal. I can still remember the way Bangladesh hosted the big tournament, which is the ICC Trophy, biggest tournament I would say in cricket. So in that perspective, the opening ceremony was phenomenal, which was unforgettable, to be very honest, me watching live on the TV. Simultaneously, the first match was between New Zealand and Zimbabwe. The first match was quite exciting. Alistair Campbell and Stephen Fleming, they were 2 great captains of these 2 teams. And such was the tournament format, and it was quite exciting to see a lot of different teams which they will be playing from this match, because the team which wins in pre-quarterfinals match will be playing the quarterfinals match as well. So Zimbabwe was not weaker team, it was very strong team, captained by Alistair Campbell. There were a lot of legendary players from Zimbabwe like Andy Flower, Grant Flower, Heat Streak, Henry Walanga. So these players were unforgettable in cricket world. As you see in New Zealand, they had great players from the counterpart. Nathan Astle, Stephen Fleming, Chris Keynes, Chris Harris, and Adam Perore as well. He is a fabulous keeper during those days. I still remember, especially in this Champions Trophy, how he dived for a catch when he was playing against Sri Lanka, which I'll be talking about in this edition. So first match was between New Zealand and Zimbabwe, and Zimbabwe batted first and they scored about 258 runs by losing 7 wickets, and New Zealand scored 260 runs by losing 5 wickets, and they won the match comfortably. New Zealand, again, like I said, they were dark horse in cricket world ever since a very long period of time. They also qualified for semi-finals and quarterfinals numerous times in the World Cup, but unfortunately they couldn't be able to cash in. So that's the same problem again they had during that time as well. They won the pre-quarterfinals and they have moved on to next stage, which is quarterfinals. And the second match, which was the first quarterfinals, was between England and South Africa. Surprisingly, Adam Holyoke was the captain of England. I was expecting Alex Stewart to be the captain of England, but Adam Holyoke was the captain of England, and South Africa was captained by great Hansie Cronje. And late Hansie Cronje was a great captain of South Africa. We have seen one of the best captains in the cricket world, where I can include him comfortably without any hesitations, because such was his caliber as a captain. He made sure that all the players are comfortable in the dressing room and perform well. So in that match, I would say Jack Callis played key role in the whole of the tournament, but in this match again, Jack Callis also was a very important all-rounder, where he was showing from the day one of this tournament his all-rounder skills, and such was his caliber, and we all know about him right now as a legend of the game. But that time he was a young chap with a lot of enthusiasm and energy. He used to open the bowling with Sean Pollock, and it was very good combination between Sean Pollock and Jack Callis. It was a later days of Alan Donald as far as his cricket career was concerned. He was not playing much during that time because of the injury. I was expecting Alan Donald to be part of this ICC Champions Trophy. Unfortunately, he didn't play in this tournament. And as I was mentioning about Jack Callis, he picked up 3 wickets in this match against England, which was a pivotal point for South Africa to make sure that they are restricting the target, and they're not making sure they are making sure that the score is not going beyond the chaseable total. And thanks to Jack Callis, like I said, that was a fabulous performance from him. And as far as the batting was concerned, I should say Daryl Cullinan was one of the key players from South Africa. I was just wondering, Herschel Gibbs, Gary Kirsten, their combination used to be very vital and very dangerous. And fortunately or unfortunately, South Africa were missing out that partner, opening partners of Gary Kirsten and Herschel Gibbs. So Daryl Cullinan opened. So Daryl Cullinan played key role in that match. He scored 16 runs, and he had different partner where we don't even see his name. Every now and then, Mike Rindle also played a key role. So this combination went on well, and South Africa comfortably chased the score and they won the match. So South Africa made sure they ticked the first box. And moving on, like I said, New Zealand won against Zimbabwe and they got qualified for the quarterfinals. They played against Sri Lanka. So during that match, New Zealand couldn't be able to capitalize by winning the toss and batting with a good score on the board. So they scored just 188 runs and they were all out. And Sri Lanka comfortably scored 191 runs by losing 5 wickets and they won the match. And talking about India's first game, yes, they were playing against Australia, mighty Australia I would say, because Australia during that point of time, they were quite strong team. It was very difficult to beat them, and such was a team where India were also trying to make sure that they are beating them comfortably. India was winning the match in the Sharjah in 1998 during the summertime, Coca-Cola Cup, Sandstorm, which people usually connect with. So such was India, where they were trying to win consistently against Australia, and they're making sure that Australians are also beatable team. So India was making sure that. So India won the toss and they scored about 307 runs and they lost 8 wickets, and it was a fabulous score on Bangabandhu Stadium. And the boundaries were a bit short, so I don't think it would be difficult for a player like Sachin Tendulkar to play across the square, to hit the boundaries. And also the straight one, I can still remember straight 6. I mean, like he smashed the ball out of the ground, straight out of the boundary, which was one thing which I could remember. The way he timed the ball, the timing was such a class from great Sachin Tendulkar. So that tournament, especially if you look into the clippings, still which people could able to relate was that straight 6 by Sachin Tendulkar against Australia. So he scored 141 runs in that match. He was a man who brought that big score, and with his contribution, I'm sure that Team India has got one box ticked, and that was a major part for India. Ajay Jadeja also played a key role in that match. He scored 71 runs and he supported well Sachin Tendulkar. So coming to Australian bowling, Glenn McGrath was missing. That was an unfortunate scenario for them. But there were bowlers like Damien Fleming, Michael Kasparowicz, Tom Moody, Steve Waugh, Darren Lehman. So these were the good bowlers, I would say. They also continued to play in 1999 World Cup. So such was a strong team in Australian team. As far as batting was concerned, Mark Waugh gave a good start by scoring 74 runs, and after that it was supported by Ricky Ponting, who scored 41 runs. But later, middle order were not able to score and couldn't able to support these players who were playing well in the top order. Unfortunately, they got all out for 263. So India won comfortably in the quarterfinals against Australia. So India, so they were really good, I mean like favorite team to win this ICC Champions Trophy in 1988. So we have to look into what is the next situation for Team India. But moving on to other quarterfinals, it was West Indies versus Pakistan. So West Indies had a very good team, very strong team, captained by Brian Lara, and the team was with a lot of all-rounders, which amazed me during that time. So you see, Philo Wales was one of the good opening batters for West Indies. He was in red-hot form. He scored 79 runs, which was supported by Shiv Narayan Chanderpaul, who came as a one-down batter. I didn't expect during that time when I was watching this match, because I was thinking that he might be coming in the middle order. But yeah, he came and he has contributed well. So West Indies just scored about 289 runs and they lost about 9 wickets. So that was a good score on the track, where batters could be able to score well and bowlers had a tough time, to be very, very honest. And Pakistan had very great bowling lineup, I should say, because Wasim Akram, Pakistan captain, was a king of swing. Nevertheless, the pitch, whatever the pitch was, he took 3 wickets. In Dhaka, to bowl in such conditions, especially in the afternoon, winning the toss, is a challenging task, where Wasim Akram tried to make sure that he utilized all the skills what he had, and he picked up 3 wickets. And he was supported by Azam Mahmood, where he picked up 1 wicket, and Arshad Khan, where he was a supporting spinner for Shakleen Mushtaq, also picked up 2 wickets. And Salim Malik, so a surprising factor, a medium pacer, military medium pacer, picked up 2 wickets as well. As far as Pakistan's batting order was concerned, I felt Syed Anwar was missing. Syed Anwar was a classy batter as far as Pakistan was concerned as an opener, but he was missing out in the Pakistan order. That was an unfortunate situation from Pakistan. Otherwise, I think Pakistan could have won this match comfortably. Alas, in this match, Pakistan lost against West Indies, where batters couldn't be able to capitalize well, except Ijaz Ahmed, who scored 51 runs. And they were all out for 259. I beg your pardon. They went down with 9 wickets and they scored 259 runs and they couldn't be able to accomplish the target. So, West Indies won this match and they have qualified for semi-finals. Like how India won the match in the quarter-finals against Australia, they got qualified for the semi-finals, as well as the same way Sri Lanka won the match against New Zealand, they got qualified for the quarter-finals. So this tournament was well balanced. And South Africa, again, they won against England and they got qualified for the semi-finals. The first semi-finals was between Sri Lanka and South Africa. This match was interrupted by rain numerous times. I still remember. The moment I turned on the TV when I was watching this match, I was awaiting for this match to happen, because there was rain and South Africa was favorite team to win this match against Sri Lanka. Although Sri Lanka had very strong team, but South Africa won the toss and elected to bat first. In the rainy conditions, I was wondering how this situation could go on, and they scored just 240 runs and by losing 7 wickets. Credit goes definitely to Sri Lankan bowlers who restricted the total to 240 and making sure South Africa is not going beyond that. And Daryl Cullen, like I said, he was continuing his peak form where he scored 30 runs. And Jack Callis won 13 runs. This tournament made sure me to look this whole of the package of all-rounder as Jack Callis, because Jack Callis was bowling well and was batting well. In this tournament, he scored a century here against Sri Lanka in the semi-finals. And of course, I'll talk about finals as well, how Jack Callis performed. So Jack Callis was a key player in this tournament. If Jack Callis wasn't there in the team of South Africa, I think South Africa would have struggled badly, because he contributed in all the departments and he made sure that South Africa were in top 240 runs and by losing 7 wickets, as I mentioned. Sri Lanka, Nuwan Zoeza and Upul Chandana could able to manage to pick 2 wickets. Here we are looking into Sri Lankan batting order. Sri Lanka couldn't be able to manage to score more than 30 odd runs by a single batter, unfortunately. Sanath Jayasuriya was a master blaster then for Sri Lanka, but unfortunately he got out soon and team's batting order were rattling like a pack of cards, which was said. So that was a very sad scenario for Sri Lankan and Sri Lankan fans. So I was expecting Aravinda De Silva and Arjuna Ranatunga to make a big partnership and to make sure Sri Lanka were winning this match, but unfortunately both of them couldn't be able to capitalize this opportunity and they were all out for 132 runs. So South Africa was the first team to get qualified in the semi-finals in the tournament. And there we go for the second semi-finals. It was between India and West Indies, and we were thinking India could be able to win this match, but still West Indies was also a very good team then. So India won the toss and they picked up batting and they scored 242 runs and by losing 6 wickets. We were expecting a big knock from Mr. Sachin Tendulkar, but he couldn't be able to score. Thanks to Saurav Ganguly, who scored 83 runs and which was supported by Robin Singh, who scored 73 runs. Our man, our homeboy, Robin Singh from Tamil Nadu, Chennai. Yeah, that's quite exciting to hear, yeah? And they scored about 242 runs by losing 6 wickets. And West Indies bowling was also phenomenal. And like I said, bowling on this Dhaka pitch, especially being a fast bowler, was always a challenging task. But during those days, rain was a big factor which was supporting pace bowlers. Because the pitch was a little bit damp, the bounce was uneven. It's very difficult for batters to play in that kind of a bounce. So West Indies bowlers were doing well in such conditions. So Marvin Dillon took 3 wickets and rest of the bowlers were managing to support him. But that score was not enough, to be very honest, because the West Indies batting order was fabulous during that time. So Philo Wills, like I said, he was having a great form then. He continued to give a good start by scoring 39 runs. Thanks to skipper Brian Lara scored 60 runs in that match and 40 runs by Keith Atherton. Keith Atherton, a lot of people do not know about him. Let me tell a small thing. He is a spin bowler. He is a very good batter. He can able to support the batter who is batting on the other end. That time Brian Lara was batting, so he was playing a supporting role, and that was a fascinating one for West Indies to have such a kind of combination. So every team requires that kind of a player to support sheer and pure batter. So West Indies scored 245 runs and just losing 4 wickets, and they won this match comfortably. So West Indies and South Africa were qualified for the finals of the first edition of 1998 Champions Trophy. And that was a fabulous tournament in Dhaka, which still I remember. The scenes, the closing ceremony, it was unforgettable thing. How I was expressing the things as far as opening ceremony was concerned, the same feeling I had as far as the closing ceremony. Yeah, and the tournament went well. There were a lot of great players who played in this tournament, and some of the players didn't play again for the country after this tournament. That was the last tournament for them. So such was a big impact which created in this tournament, ICC Champions Trophy 1998. So the final match between West Indies and South Africa, West Indies batted first and they scored 245 runs. If you ask me whether the 245 is good enough for South Africa to chase, it was a tricky thing on that particular day because the pitch was a bit slow. As we all know, the Dhaka pitch can be very, very slow if it's on a non-rainy day. So the pitch was very, very slow, and it was very difficult for batters to go against the bowlers because ball was not coming onto the bat. It was a tough task. But Philo Wills made sure that he scored 103 runs. He gave a big contribution as an opener. He was supported by Carl Hooper, experienced campaigner from West Indies, by scoring 49 runs. And eventually they scored 245 runs, as I said. As far as bowling was concerned, Jack Callis picked up 5 wickets. He got 5 for 30, which was his best bowling then. And in his ODI career, I would say Jack Callis would cherish this moment and cherish this tournament as well, because he got 113 runs against Sri Lanka and also got 5-4 against West Indies in the finals. Wow, what a moment for him. And talking about South African bowling attack, during those times they had Pat Simcox, spinner. Steve Iliverty was again another bowler who used to bowl when Alan Donald was not there in the team. Nicky Boyer was another left-arm spinner they had. So Paul Adams also played in this tournament. So there were a lot of spinners in South Africa. So they were not inadequate as far as spin department was concerned. Hansie Cronje also picked up 2 wickets. So that was a very strong bowling, despite the fact that they were key bowlers. Probably South Africa could have made sure they were also playing like Alan Donald, Lance Klusener. That could have been a whole different scenario for South Africa. Even Sean Pollock could have made a big difference. Yeah, coming to the batting of South Africa, Darryl Cullinan gave a good start of 21 runs, and Mike Rindle also played 49 runs, and he scored 49, which was very, very effective indeed as an opener. Thanks to Hansi Cronje, the skipper of South African team, he scored 61 runs. I still remember the reverse sweeps which he was playing against West Indies bowlers was fabulous. We were talking about Andy Flower, we were talking about the great Sachin Tendulkar, but for me personally, I saw a well-cherished, a well-established batter who played reverse sweep very constantly and very comfortably was late Hansi Cronje. He used to play bowlers for fun. He used to play very easily and he used to score the runs, and he made sure South Africa got the good total on the board. So such was a player and such was a caliber of Hansi Cronje. And again, in this tournament, he also was supported by Derek Crooks and Dale Benkenstein. Later, when he got dismissed, and South Africa won this match against West Indies in the finals of ICC Champions Trophy 1998, and they won the trophy in a grand style. If you ask me, still I have in my bedroom that poster of 1998 Champions Trophy where Hansi Cronje was holding the trophy with whole of his team as a group picture. Such was the gala of cricket in 1998, which was unforgettable match as far as Champions Trophy is concerned. This is the special edition of Champions Trophy. I hope you guys enjoyed this edition. We are looking forward to present you more some interesting and historical things in the Vintage Cricket Show. Until then, see you. Next time, I'll provide you with more interesting things. Bye-bye.